Hey everyone, and welcome back to ICC What to Watch, the show where we break down the football matches you absolutely cannot miss in world football. I'm your host, Chris Murch. It's time for another international break, this time without UEFA World Cup qualifiers in Europe, but with some major games in the Americas with CONCACAF and CONMEBOL World Cup qualifiers heating all the way up and AFCON continuing into the later rounds in Africa. This really is make or break time for a lot of nations in the hopes of advancing to Qatar 2022 or to win a trophy in Africa, so let's not delay any further and look at the 3 games you absolutely cannot miss on this weekend's and early next week's schedule. First, all the way up north in Ontario, we have Canada hosting the US in a crucial CONCACAF World Cup qualifier. Despite only being ranked 40th in FIFA rankings, Canada have enjoyed a ton of success in this World Cup qualifying process, finishing last window in first place with 16 points and 0 losses after a surprise victory over Mexico. However, this window will look a bit different. Sadly, for the Canadians, they've had a brutal stretch of bad news, with Alphonso Davies coming down with a mild heart condition after contracting COVID-19, midfielder Steven Eustáquio contracting COVID himself in Portugal, and the Canadian government deciding to only allow 12,000 fans instead of the reported sellout in the game Sunday against the US in Ontario. A huge blow for the Canadians, as if you remember, their last home game was that sellout victory against Mexico, where the crowd and weather conditions played a huge factor. What will come of it this time around? For the US, this is one of the biggest 3-game windows they have had in their World Cup qualifying history, as it can either be a chance to solidify themselves as the best team in CONCACAF and get that first place bid, or it can be another letdown in which they are still fighting for their World Cup future. Which USMNT side will we see? The one that has beaten Mexico 3 times in a row, won 2 trophies this summer, and looked to be potentially one of the best teams in the world for the future, or the team that lost to Panama, tied El Salvador and Jamaica, and have a tendency for lethargy? Sunday at 3 p.m. Eastern on Paramount Plus, you absolutely cannot miss this one. Next, let's head over to Argentina, where on Tuesday, so not the weekend, but early next week, we will see them take on Colombia. Now, for Argentina, they are already qualified for Qatar 2022, so no worries there. However, for Colombia, who are now used to being in World Cups and competing in them, their standing in the qualifiers is very shaky. With clubs like Peru, Chile, Uruguay, and Bolivia on their tails, Colombia need all 3 points against everyone, basically, and a win over an Argentina side without Lionel Messi and maybe playing with some of their younger, more inexperienced players would be huge for the Colombians. 6:30 p.m. Eastern on beIN Sports next Tuesday. Don't miss this one. Lastly, let's head back to Central America, where on Sunday at 6 p.m. Eastern, Mexico will take on Costa Rica in a massive CONCACAF qualifier for both. Costa Rica is another nation that have gotten used to being involved in World Cups, and right now it's not looking super hot for them. On the outside, looking in of the 3 automatic qualifying spots and still not even 4th for the Interconfederation playoff, if Keylor Navas wants to see potentially one more World Cup, getting all 3 points against a struggling Mexico side would be imperative. For El Tri, losing this game would be a terrible sign for Tata Martino and company, who, while don't necessarily seem to be a threat to not qualify per se, would want to be first place in this group to get a potentially easier road in the Qatar 2022 group stage, finishing in first. And really to maintain their normal standing as kings of CONCACAF, something they haven't been for a little bit now. Can Mexico right the ship? Again, Sunday at 6 p.m. Eastern on Paramount Plus. You gotta check this one out. Thank you everyone for tuning in to the latest episode of ICC What to Watch. Be sure to check out International Champions Cup for our other original programming, such as The Fixture with Megan Reyes, EPL Insights with Lucas Demon, ICC Confidential with Fabrizio Romano, and more. Also, go ahead and follow us at INTL Champions Cup on TikTok, International Champions Cup on Instagram and Facebook, and INT Champions Cup on Twitter. We'll see you next week.